Okay, we're getting ready to fit that inner primary casing. Just a couple more things before we do that. So I've put Wellseal on this facing and on the casing itself, but notice that there are places where I haven't put Wellseal. Okay, because these are parts where there is no oil behind the casing. So there's no need. I'm just going to get a brush because that I've slapped too much Wellseal. Just hang on a minute. There we go. It doesn't matter. I'm just, it'll just drip anyway. Right. Sorry. Yeah, because of course you don't need an oil tight seal. There's no oil in the clutch. There's going to be oil in the breather system, so we want sealant around there. Obviously, there's oil coming through the main bearing and in the primary chain case, so we want it around there. Obviously, we want it around the oil pump. Notice just how thin a wall there is between the oil pump and the clutch. But strangely, I think because there are two O-ring seals, it never ever, to my knowledge, leaks from there. That seems to be such an obvious place to leak, but into the clutch, but it doesn't. At least I've never known it to. On the other hand, you will often you see, this is just a housing, a guard for the clutch. There's no real reason for it, and obviously there's a big hole there. People go, "Oh, there's a big hole." Yeah, that's just to let water and stuff out, or condensation, anything that's got in there. Now, occasionally you will get, there is actually a hole back here where my finger is, as well as a drill hole, and you will actually sometimes get oil coming out of that drill hole there. I'll see if I can show it to you. Where is it? Yeah, you see it there. That hole there. Come on, focus. Focus. No, it's not going to focus, but I'm sure you can see that hole there in the middle of the photo. And if you do get oil dripping out of there, it's because oil is leaking in to the clutch that shouldn't be there. And the chances are that the oil seals on this shaft are gone. So it would either be this oil seal, the one we've just replaced, and that's letting oil in, or there is a small oil seal that goes on the end of the clutch push rod, actually in the nut on the clutch push rod, and that can fail. So if you do have a leak, oil coming out of there shouldn't be, because because this is dry, there shouldn't be any oil in there. And so it's probably leaking from there. If you've got an early bike, not a T160, but a T150 or Rocket 3, an early one, 68, 69, I think. Sometimes if you leave the bike on the side stand, you'll find that you get oil out of there. And that's probably gearbox oil, because they didn't put an oil seal on the gearbox main shaft on the early bikes. And when they were leant over, the oil seeped down that shaft, and that went into the back of the clutch, or down the back of the clutch. It's difficult to tell where it's coming down the back of the clutch or through that little hole sometimes. So on an early bike, especially if the bike's been leant over and you get a drip of oil, it can be coming out of the gearbox, but that's only on the very early bikes. And then all later bikes from about, I'm not sure what year, 69, 70, they put an oil seal in on the gearbox that doesn't come through anymore. So generally, if you've got oil coming out of there, it's because one of these two seals has gone here. Yeah, we've got the same oil seal on here, so of course we haven't got any guns around the clutch because it's dry. There's nothing in there. It's just the casing is just a guard. We've got that little seal in the groove there. These are the two new seals, and I literally just prized them out with a screwdriver and just pushed them in, and just tap that one down with the mallet. I will be putting some lube on the needle roller bearings and on the lip of the new oil seals, so obviously they don't want to be running dry. And then we're going to put the slide the casing in position once we've fitted the new gasket.